I'll do. Got another story here which links into the last one in a sort of weird way. I'll explain it in a minute, but it's kind of bittersweet as well in the way that it does link into the last one. I'll just get straight into it. I will put the link below so you can read it yourself if you want afterwards. Please do. It's got a bit more information on the site which you might find interesting. So here we go. Vile gang. Police Scotland took down large-scale asylum seeker grooming gang in Glasgow, but kept it secret. Now, if you've watched the previous video, something that I said right at the end is I don't want to read stories about people cocking up and people, like getting to lord it over them and ripping into them in videos. I don't actually like that. I'd rather hear about like this first part of this story, which is success. It's brilliant. They've taken down a massive grooming gang. Children protected. Fantastic news. Can't ask for the police to do more than that. The problem that I've got though is the bittersweet part is the second bit, which is the failure, which is but kept it secret, which shows that the police, even with this, are still playing politics, and that's the problem. And like I said in my previous video, we've got too many people who tick boxes, in my opinion, promoting beyond their abilities for political reasons, and it's causing serious issues. And I think that's what maybe the link in here anyway. So anyway, let's carry on with the story. Cops took down a huge asylum seeker grooming gang in Glasgow but kept it secret. The gang preyed on vulnerable young girls in the city, and at least 44 victims, including a core group of 6 youngsters who were all known to each other. There'll be a lot more than this. This is the thing that they found in, like, say, a place like Rotherham and that, where they reckon each town had thousands and thousands of girls, but they could only get a handful of them to come forward because most of the girls were so jaded by their interactions with the police previously. The whole attitude was, what's the point? And to be honest with you, with the way the sentencing has gone with most of them, what has been the point of the investigations? We don't deport them. We say we're going to, but we don't. Out of, say, 400 people that get investigated, 3 or 4 will actually get arrested. It's just the whole thing's just a joke. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Let's carry on with this. It's believed one may have been abused by 28 men. Yeah, that's absolutely normal and common, unfortunately. With another link to 23. And most of these guys as well are going to be related in some way or another. You'll find they're all cousins of each other and cousins of cousins. 55 suspected members of the vile group were identified by officers, with 46 positively identified. All were asylum seekers from Kurdish, Afghani, Egyptian, Moroccan, Turkish, Pakistani or Iraqi communities. Not one single one of them should be in this country. Not one, including the Afghanis. And I don't care if they're interpreters. They shouldn't be here. Not our problem. Go home. Operator Serrera was kept under wraps by Police Scotland and has now come to light after an investigation by the Daily Express. This is the Sun, by the way, that we're reading here. Advertisement. Cops say 19 members were reported to the Crown Office and Prosecutor Fiscal, but it's unknown how many were convicted. Briefings from the 2016 operation. That's not even new. 2016, my goodness, that's nearly 10 years old. Operations are stored in the archive for the Glasgow Child Protection Committee. The horrifying extent of the gang's activities was laid bare in a National Child Abuse Investigation Unit report by Detective Inspector Sarah Taylor. Well, hats off to that lady for doing that. She's done a fantastic job there, and I hope she does more of it. 22 of the suspects were still living in Glasgow. What are these people still doing living in Glasgow if they've been prosecuted? Why are they not being got? Even if they're suspected of these serious crimes, it's just a case of, right, we're getting rid of you. You're too much of a liability. You're gone, unfortunately. Tough. With a further 8 still thought to be in the UK. 14 had been deported, with another awaiting deportation in one in prison. Under the heading "Victims," the report states: girl 1 to 28 suspects, girl 2 to 23 suspects, girl 3 9 suspects, girl 4. I mean, this is horrifying. 8 suspects, girl 5, 4 suspects, girl 6, 1 suspect. All are known to one another. Yeah, that's what I said. They'll all be related in some way or another. 20 other named girls believed to be victims. A further 18 girls were identified through the course of the current investigation. In fact, I think I may have misread that when it says 20 other named girls believed to. All are known to what? Yeah, sorry, I think the victims, what that means is all the victims were known to each other. Sorry, that's my mistake. I've just realised that we're reading it. Cops say they use disruptive tactics, including intelligence gathering, covert policing, financial and lifestyle profiling, looking at the suspects' associates, vehicles and employment. Just get rid of them. These people should not be in the United Kingdom. They serve no purpose. They're going to be completely uneducated. They will be barely literate in their own languages, and I doubt they can count higher than the amount of fingers that they've got. Get rid of them. D.I. Taylor said officers had used all investigative opportunities to pursue all known offenders, including involvement in current criminality. They also used grooming and trafficking legislation, preventative orders, and immigration status to take down the offenders. They also had support from Glasgow City Council, the UK Border Agency, Barnardo's, HMRC, and the Scottish Environment Protection Agency. Asked why Operation Serrero had not been made public, the police said, "We need to be very clear that we always carefully consider when and what information to release in relation to ongoing investigations to protect vulnerable victims and the integrity of the inquiry." Now, it's not because of that at all. It's because they don't want to have race riots happening. Because they know if that gets out, that people are going to take to the streets. You see in Scotland, they haven't been culturally enriched like we have in England yet. People haven't, unfortunately, become numb to it. So for them, this is all very, very new, and they will not stand for it. As happened recently with the riot in a small town because there was counterland drugs coming from Yorkshire going in there. And I believe that was Roma gypsies doing that. And the whole town just erupted into riots because they're sick of it. And this is what they've done for decades in England. They've beaten down people's will to resist against it. But in other regions of the United Kingdom and also in the Republic of Ireland, those people aren't used to this sort of cultural enrichment, and they will not tolerate it. It'll be like in the 1970s with the National Front in England. And that's what we're going to start seeing in these regions. We're going to start seeing it kicking off. And what I think they're terrified of, especially the government, is then people in England seeing this and getting inspired by it. And that's my prediction for the future, is what will eventually end up happening, is the regions will go, no, they will kick off, they will riot, they will start taking vigilante action, in my opinion. I don't condone any of this, by the way. And then what will start to happen is people in England, starting in the peripheries, so like in the north of England or in the far west of England, which borders Wales, you'll then see it spreading into the larger cities. Maybe not fully into the cities because a lot of the indigenous populations have moved out of those areas, but at least where you have the very diverse and cosmopolitan parts, like say Blackburn as an example, near to where I live, I wouldn't be surprised if that starts becoming the norm. Detective Chief Inspector Laura Carnocken, of the National Crime Abuse Investigation Unit said, "We are committed to investigating all reports of child abuse, which include child sexual exploitation. We want to reassure everyone who has suffered abuse that we still listen." I don't doubt reading this that they do listen, but the trouble is that they don't listen enough because they're keeping this quiet, and they should be telling the public about this. And I wouldn't be surprised if the SNP, and I think at this time it was Nicola Sturgeon around the time of this, I wouldn't be surprised if she's covered it up. Our investigations are always victim focused and victim led, and we will ask our partners to support services to assist. Our National Child Abuse Investigation Unit provides specialist support for the investigation of complex child abuse and neglect across Scotland. However, part of our success in delivering child protection is local officers working with their partners in communities. Yeah, I mean, that's all good stuff, but again, as I say quite often in my videos, don't listen to what they say, look at what they do. It doesn't matter what people say. Anybody can say. It's like when you go on a company's website and you read all the mission statements of what the ethos is of the business or whatever. At the end of the day, if you've got let's say a nuclear power plant, and the mission statement is to provide clean, cheap, and affordable energy for the people of the country, and yet 10 miles down the road, they're tipping nuclear waste into a river and not disposing of it properly. It doesn't matter what they've got written on the website. Is the action of tipping the nuclear waste, which is what you need to concentrate on. The same with all of this. These people are, I'm not criticising the fact they've broken this ring up. That's fine. But these people, they're not deporting these men. They're not telling the public about the danger of it, which is what they should be doing. That's the job, is to keep the public safe. And telling people about the problem is a part of keeping people safe. It's not new. It's nothing new. It's like during the war. It was like, loose lip sync ships, and they were telling people, watch out for spies and all of that. It's the same with this. They've got to be telling. Unfortunately, the whole multicultural, multi-ethnic pipe dream that they've got has been shown to be exactly that, a pipe dream. And unfortunately, they've created a massive mess. But they're still trying to keep us believing in it, and nobody believes it anymore. And the more they keep lying about it, and I'm not saying everybody's bad who comes from these countries, but unfortunately there is too much friction and there is too many problems associated with this mass movement of people, and the public are seeing through it, and that's the problem now. And child abuse includes child sexual exploitation. Is a complex challenge in area of policing, and we owe it to all the children, whether now or in the past, or thoroughly investigate each and every report. Well, the investigating is complex, absolutely. The actual crimes themselves, no, there's nothing complex about it. The children, they're being sexually exploited by people who aren't from this country and are being targeted because, and I bet with this, they'll all be Scottish girls, they'll all be white Celtic girls, and they're being targeted because they're white and Celtic. They won't be targeting girls from Pakistani or Bangladesh or Afghan or Algerian or Moroccan backgrounds, will they? They won't be targeting girls who are Muslims. They will be targeting specifically white, Scottish, Christian girls. And this is another thing that they never focus on either with the police. It's like that lad who's just been stabbed in London. Absolutely, I'm telling you now, 110% that boy will have been stabbed because he was white and ginger. Telling you now for a fact, in my opinion, but that will never ever come up in court. I'm telling you now, the police will not pursue that. And it was the same with the grooming gangs. Even when they were sending down all the grooming gangs, they had all the evidence where they were calling girls like white slags and easy meat, and they were actually specifically saying that they were targeting them because they are white. They are actually saying that in court, and they didn't get charged with racism. And this is the problem with our entire legal system. They are not interested in pursuing the racial aspect of these crimes because they know what will happen if they do. And it will cause, as I said earlier, a massive, massive uproar. And they're terrified of an indigenous uprising happening. And again, I'm not saying that would be a good thing. I mean, it'd be awful. They would tear the country apart. It really, really would. It'd be awful. But unfortunately, this is what they're creating. And this is what they're storing up for the future because they are refusing to deal with this. Anyway, anyone with information on child sexual exploitation should contact Police Scotland through 101. Absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. If you even suspect anything, absolutely do contact the police about it. We always carefully consider what information we release to protect vulnerable victims and the integrity of our inquiry. I just don't buy that. I don't care what they're saying about that. I think that's absolute cop out of an answer. They should have been plastering this all over the news and saying, look what we've done for you people of Glasgow and Scotland. We're keeping you safe. Because that then also builds trust in the police with the community. I'm going to leave it at that. That's the end of the story. Like I say, I'll put the link below. Please check it out. If you've enjoyed that, found it interesting or intriguing or whatever, please like, subscribe, put a comment below. I always try to comment, get back to everybody. I'm going to leave it at that for now. Take care. Bye-bye.